Stay informed with open access journals for hybrid journals and determine your article's contributions to journal performance. With this, my colleague Vishal will actually now start with the JCR demonstration where you'll get a more richer, nuanced view of what we were talking till date. Thank you, Vishal. Over to you now.
Thank you so much, Subhashri, and that was a wonderful presentation. So very quickly, I will start with JCR. As you all have would have seen, how impact factor plays a role in deciding in many decisions actually, not just for publishing, but also for you to get the information as far as your research is concerned and as far as literature review is concerned. So many other reasons why you need to read good journals. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to quickly start sharing my screen here. Give me a minute. And I was actually going through the chat a minute ago, and we actually saw lots of questions coming in. That's a great sign, and I really appreciate and thank you so much for putting in your questions. Although I'm not very sure whether we'll be able to answer all of them or not, but just taking a step back and going back to the presentation, of course, I'll skip out the portions that have been covered by my colleague here. So we all know about Web of Science and what it covers. Quickly wanted to show you a couple of things. Uh, During the demo, of course, I will cover this, but we'll talk about this a little later. I just wanted to take you through this slide. So Web of Science is basically a collection of databases. All right. So there are lots of databases, as you would have seen on this chart on the left-hand side of the screen. You would see that we have a whole lot of databases arranged alphabetically, starting from the top right corner with Arabic citation index. Then we have Biosys citation index and so on. So these are all databases that are available on the Web of Science platform. And right in the middle, you have the core collection, right? This is the largest of all databases, and it is completely owned by Clarivate. So let's talk a little more about the core collection and what it covers, right? Okay, we have the three flagship indexes. Flagship means these are the three basic and the largest of indexes within the core collection. There's a index based on the sciences, then we have another index based on social science related subjects, and then the third one on arts and humanities. And hence the names are given: the Science Citation Index Expanded, Social Science Citation Index, and Arts and Humanities Citation Index. In short, we will refer to them as uh, SCIE, SSCI, and AHCI. There was a question in the chat where somebody was asking the difference between SCI and SCIE. Well, SCI was, this database, this index basically existed during the time of Dr. Eugene Garfield. We added more journals to it, and now we call it Science Citation Index Expanded, right? So SCI does not exist anymore. SCIE is the new version of SCI, and SCIE is in existence now. All right. And questions about ESCI. Then what is ESCI? Well, here we go. There are more components of the core collection. We have conferences, we have books, and we have ESCI, Emerging Sources Citation Index. Now, if you look at the flagships, uh, a little about SCIE. As the name suggests, it contains journals from all these science related subjects. So you have basic sciences, you have engineering sciences, and you have medical sciences. Anything, any subject related to science, those journals would be found in SCIE. Similarly, in SSCI, we have journals coming from subjects like management, accounts, finance, right? These are all social science related subjects. So the journals would be found in SSCI. And similarly, arts and humanities, you'll get journals from history, from archaeology, from psychology, and so on. Yeah. Now, ESCI, the only difference is that, first of all, ESCI is not a part of the three flagships. And why is it not a part of the three flagships? Well, the quality of the journals within the three flagships is the highest, right? ESCI is one notch below the three flagships as far as quality is concerned, right? Hence, we cannot put it along with the three flagships. All right. Now, the other part, ESCI comprises of journals from all the subjects. There's no demarcation as far as sciences or social sciences or arts and humanities is concerned. ESCI contains journals from all the subjects. The only difference is it is these journals are one notch lesser in quality as compared to the three flagship indexes. Okay. Moving on. Editorial team, I think Subhashi's already told you about this, so I'll just skip this part. We are running short of time anyways, so I'll quickly get on with this. Jace, impact factor, she's already spoken about impact factor, so I'll not take much time here either. Uh, let's quickly get on with the demo. I'll quickly go to JCR. So here we have Web of Science. So, see, first of all, I again saw a couple of questions when Subhashi was presenting. I went through a couple of questions where people were asking that what do we do when we don't, because their institution does not have Web of Science. Well, this session was originally intended for people who had access to Web of Science, and the invite was sent to only those institutions who had Web of Science. Now, if the invite has reached you, it simply means somebody has forwarded that invite to you. Of course, you are welcome to attend. We are very happy to have you in the session. Thank you so much for coming to the session. But the invite has come to you from someone to whom this invite was sent originally. All right. So if your institute does not have access to Web of Science, uh, you will not be able to use the platform, number one. You will only be able to use a part of it, which is the researcher's profile. That is absolutely free of cost. This one, Subhashi had explained about this in the first session, where researchers are free to look at their profiles and all, and this is a free feature. As far as document search is concerned, this is the main segment of Web of Science, which is available only if your institution has a subscription. All right. So if you do not have subscription, I'm afraid you will not be able to use the main component of Web of Science. And the subscription is institution based, right? So uh, if people keep asking that, okay, can I get a subscription? Well, individuals are not given any subscription. It is only an institutional subscription. I repeat, it is institutional subscription. Individuals are not given any subscription at all. All right. So if you want access to Web of Science, there's only one way. You will, your institution must subscribe. And even in the quiz, we have some task-based questions where you will be asked to enter a keyword and conduct a search and give us the results. That itself means you will need access to Web of Science. So as far as the quiz is concerned, I'm afraid those who do not have access to Web of Science in their institution may not be able to attempt the entire quiz, right? Couple of questions that are task based. I'm afraid you will not be able to complete them because the questions are designed in a way that Google will not provide you the answer. You will have to use Web of Science platform, right? Okay, coming back to where what we were discussing very quickly, I'll talk about the remaining part. So here on the Web of Science platform, you're quite familiar with this. We'll quickly talk about JCR. Here in the product section, we have the JCR Journal Citation Reports. And one thing is very clear, JCR is not a part of the regular Web of Science subscription. And JCR again is based on institutional subscriptions. So if your institute has only Web of Science, you will get only Web of Science. You will not get journal citation reports. Okay. This has to be subscribed separately by your institution. Now, JCR is a great platform. It contains all the journals that are there on the Web of Science, and it gives you a lot of information. There were questions in the chat regarding quartiles. I will take up those questions very quickly. JCR means Journal Citation Reports. This is a separate product, not a part of regular Web of Science subscription. It has to be subscribed separately by your institution. Okay. And for the sake of quiz, I'm getting questions. People are saying, for the quiz, can we get subscription to Web of Science? It is not possible. You will have your institution will have to subscribe to Web of Science. Only then can you get access to Web of Science. We cannot provide it just for the sake of quiz. I will put my email address in the chat once the session ends, and you can write to me if your institution does not have subscription to Web of Science. In fact, you can forward my email address to your library. Instead of writing to me, please do not write to me. The better way would be forward my email address to your librarian, and your librarian will have to get in touch with us and we can talk about subscription of Web of Science. Okay. All right. So this is JCR. There are a couple of things it contains. First of all, it contains information related to journals. Here it says journal citation report. So anything that you get is only related to journals, not individual papers. So many times people say that I want to publish in international journals. So I'll go in this order. We look at countries, then we look at publishers, we look at categories, and then journals. So starting with countries. Uh, let's click on this. So many a times researchers are asked to publish in international journals. International journals technically means any journal getting published outside of India. So you click on the country section here, and we have 122 countries. And because you've clicked on countries, you get a list of countries, right? So here you have USA, England, Netherlands, and so on. And here we have the number of journals. So USA publishes many journals, of course, but out of those journals, 5,954 journals are currently indexed in the Web of Science. All right. And these are a mix of subjects. So you can click on this and refine further and look for your own subject category. Similarly, England, they may be publishing a lot more journals, but out of those, 4,642 are currently indexed in the Web of Science, and so on. Look at other countries as well. You can look at Indian journals. These many journals are produced by India, right? Which are currently on Web of Science. Okay, so you can click and the list of journals is displayed. You can refine according to your subject area, and that's it. Very quickly, I see I'm rushing through because we are short of time anyway. So I'll go on to publishers. In the end, I will take up a couple of dummy questions, which will from previous quizzes that were conducted for the Web of Science certification. I'll pick up the previous quizzes and I'll take up a couple of questions and show you how to solve them. Okay. Currently, we have journals from more than 5,000 publishers globally, and these are the name of publishers. So it's quite expected that when you click on publishers, the list of publishers will appear, right? So here we are. Currently, the highest number of journals that we have on Web of Science are from Springer Nature. These many, 2,222. Not very far behind is Elsevier Unified, where these many journals are there, and then Taylor and Francis, and so on. You click on this, and the number of and the list of journals from these publishers will appear. Again, these are all mixed subjects, so you can filter according to your own subject area. Next is categories. Read this as subject categories. So if you belong to a particular subject area, click on categories and it becomes slightly easier for you to look at the journals from these categories, right? For example, I'll go with biochemistry, biology and biochemistry. There are 34 categories in this. In chemistry, there are 21 categories. See, chemistry, we consider chemistry to be a subject, but this is basically, we call it a group. Right? Why we call it a group is because chemistry has many branches. So these are basically the branches of chemistry, 21 categories. If I click on 21, you will understand very clearly what I'm trying to say. For example, organic chemistry, physical chemistry, right? So these are basically, all of them are branches of chemistry. And if you're a chemistry student, you will agree that all of these are basically further divisions or branches of chemistry, like electrochemistry, energy and fuels, and so on. So these are branches. If you click on these are hyperlinked. So if I click on organic chemistry, the journals from organic chemistry will appear. So across all the categories, we have 2,412 journals. If I click on this, the list will appear. All right. All right. Then last is journals. Now we get all the journals together, mixed journals across all the categories. So this is how the list of journals is displayed. You can obviously, this list obviously will have no meaning for you because it comprises of journals from all subjects. Here, look at the category. Sorry. So all the categories, the subject areas are displayed here. Uh, and this list has no meaning. So in order for this list to, you know, have some meaning for you, I would recommend that use this filter. Here you can choose your own subject category. There are 254 subject categories that we have defined. You click on this and the categories are displayed in front of you in alphabetical order. Here are the categories. uh, for example, let me just click on uh, biology. If I click on biology, you can, by the way, you can click on multiple subject areas at the same time, biology, and let me click on biochemistry also, two subjects. All right. When you select two, you click on apply. So now there are 416 journals across these two subject categories. And there were questions in the chat related to quartiles. So here are the quartiles displayed in front of you. The impact factor is also given. For example, this journal, Nature Medicine, has an impact factor of 58.7, and the quartile is 1, Q1. So it's a Q1 journal. So these quartiles are based on impact factors, right? So you can make use of this list. You can even segregate them according to quartiles. So if I click here, you can go here and look at quartiles. You can look at open access. How many are open access from this list of 416? You can look at quartiles. So if I want to focus only on the top two quartiles, I can click on quartile 1 and 2, and I can click on apply. So out of these 416, only 217 are falling in the top two quartiles, right? If you want to focus on the remaining two quartiles, I'll just remove the filter here. And you can even look at the other quartiles, Q3 and Q4. So quartile, Q3 and Q4. So if you want to look at journals that are falling in the lower range of quartiles, here are the Q3 and Q4 quartiles. 199 journals are there, right? And the quartile is information is given. Yeah. Okay. See, there's a lot of information given here. I can click on this and you can click on more details about the journals, and then you can make up your mind whether you would like to publish here or not. Very quickly, I'll take up other details. People prefer to sometimes publish in open access because open access tends to give you more citations because open access is free anyway. So the reach of an open access journal is more and open access papers. Hence, because they are free, so they have more visibility and hence tend to receive more citations. Okay, I will take up a couple of questions from the previous quizzes that we had conducted in from the certifications from last year's. So here we go. These are sample questions. Of course, I'll make sure not to include these questions. So for this, see, there'll be some questions related to, uh, for example, questions like Web of Science belongs to which organization? So obviously the reason is the answer is Clarivate. So these are some simple questions that may come to you. Plus there will be some task-based questions. Uh, the one such example is in front of you, right? I will pick up another example here. First, I'll go through this one. Yeah. So how many results are seen when we conduct a search on the topic biofuel? So I would recommend that you should not read the entire question, go step by step. So it says conduct a search on the topic biofuel. First, read only this part of the question. Open Web of Science. So let's go to Web of Science. Here it is. Just a minute. It's on the other window. Yeah, here. So we have Web of Science here. Now let's read the question again. Conduct a search on the topic biofuel. Okay, so here this is Web of Science in front of you, and here there are a lot of options here: topic, title, author, and so on. By the way, I'm giving you a hint because I'm the one who will be preparing the quiz for you. There will be questions based on these options also. So go through all these options, like for example, author identifier, right? Author keyword, conferences, right? Authors, publication title, and then topic. So this one, so the question says topic. Do you see this word topic? So topic should be biofuel. So here I'll make sure that I select topic and let me enter biofuel. Okay. So I'm getting some answer. Don't focus on the answer right now. Let's read the next part of the question. So this part is done. Published in the year 2022. Just read this much. Okay, published in the year 2022. Scroll down, publication years on the left hand side, this filtering table. So look for the year 2022. It's right here. By the way, if the question says published in the year 2019, how will you find it? 2019 is not displayed here. Then in that case, click on see all. The previous years will be seen under see all like this. See, all the previous years are there, and then you can select 2019, right? So that was just an example. Let's stick to the question. Published in 22. So let's click on 22 and click on refine. Done. I've got some answer. Let's wait and read the remaining part of the question. And included in SCIE. I've told you about the flagship indexes, SCIE, and the hint is also given. For SCIE, look for options under Web of Science Index in the filtering table. So in the filtering table, you will see an option Web of Science Index. Let's go. This is the filtering table on the left-hand side. Here you have publication years. You should also find Web of Science Index as one of the options here. Let's try to find that. Web of Science Index is right here. So this is Web of Science Index. Let's click on this, and SCIE is very much here. First option, SCIE, Science Citation Index Expanded, right? Okay, let's click on this, refine. So I've got some result. Let's see if the entire question is complete. Are all the tasks done? So how many results are seen when we conduct a search on biofuel topic? Done. Published in 22. Done. Included in SCIE. Done. Okay. So now there's a range because we've got some answer here. There's a range given. So it could be, is the answer between 1000 to 2000, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, or more than 5000? Right now, the answer is 4307. It's obviously the last one. This option, see, this quiz I have picked up from the previous 2 years. Back in 2023, I had, I had put in this question, and the answer was in this range. Hence, this was the result in 2023. But now the result is more than 4000. Obviously, I will modify the question and I will make sure that a similar question is given to you. So the idea here was to show you that, dude, read the question step by step, break up the question, complete one task, then see what other filters are to be applied, and then do it again. Okay. There's another question here. Name the funding agency. Okay. So the question is related to a funding agency which has funded the greatest number of open access articles from India on the title search biodiesel. Okay. So first of all, the search has to be done on biodiesel. So let's go back. Let's click on Web of Science, Advanced Search, and let's clear everything. Okay. So it says the title search should be on biodiesel. Right now, this is topic. So let's change it to title. And the topic is, and the title is biodiesel. Biodiesel. Okay. Search. I've got some result here. Let's read the next part. In the year 2020. So in the year, published in the year 2020. Like I said, 2020 is not visible here. So let's click on see all and let's find 2020. It's right here, 2020, and then refine. It's right here. Let's click on refine. So I've got some result again. So this part is done. Okay. Title search on biodiesel in the year 2020. Okay. funding agencies that funded greatest number of open access articles from India. Okay. Articles from India. Please break it up like this. From India. Do you see that? From India. So India, again, I keep telling this to everyone. Please, before attempting the quiz, use Web of Science for your searches and try to look at all the options in this refining table. See, if you master the art of looking at all the refined results, this refining table or filtering table, whatever you call it, if you look at all the options, you will be able to conduct your searches on Web of Science without any problem. On India. So India is what? India is a country, name of our country, correct? So let's look for the option country here in the refining table. It's there in country, right? And India. Okay, India is there. Let's refine India. Okay, so this part is done. I've done biodiesel in the year 2020, title search. This part is taken care. Now I'm looking at India. From India, this is also done, right? Okay, name the funding agency that has funded the greatest number of open access articles. So open access from India. From India is done. So now let me apply the filter of open access. Now, do we have any open access filter? Let's try to find. Again, look for it in the refining table. All your answers are there in the refining table. So let's look for open access here. Open access, here it is. Open access. Let's click on all open access. If the question says gold open access, then I'll click on this. But now the question is just open access. So I'll click on all open access. Refine. The answer is 89. Okay. Now let's read the first part. Name the funding agency that has funded the greatest number of open access articles. So now I just have to look at the funding agency and I'll get my answer. So funding agency should be one of the options in the filtering table. Do we have that anywhere? Let's try to find it. Okay, funding agency. Okay, Department of Science and Technology has funded 6 papers. Then King Saud University 3, 3, 2, 2. So Department of Science and Technology has funded 6 papers. This is the highest number. And the question is, name the funding agency that has funded the greatest number of open access. So highest number basically. So let's see. Let's look at the answers. And the answer is in fact Department of Science and Technology. Right? So this is how you complete your question. These are task-based questions. You will not get the answers through Google. You will have to eventually use Web of Science for this, right? And this is why the questions are task-based, because we want to encourage the usage of Web of Science. We want to make you familiar with the platform of Web of Science, right? Uh, See, very simply, if I want to explain, just look at the refining table. If you just focus on the platform overall, right? Here, we have various things. So you may get a question on, I have asked questions on topic. I took up a question on title. There could be a question on publication years, titles. Publication titles, what does it cover? Read this. This is the definition of publication title. So as you hover the mouse, the definition of that particular thing will appear on the right hand side. So what do you mean by topic? Topic covers keywords. What do you mean by